Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Luis Hernandez. And I hope I pronounced your name right. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you, Caroline. I'm excited to be here.
Wow, perfect. I love to interview you and know more about you. And first of all, I like to introduce you to the audience. You transformed adversity into success through the discipline of long distance running. Your journey have taught you invaluable lessons in perseverance and resilience, which you now share to inspire others on their path to personal growth. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Luis Hernandez.
Thank you. It's
Wow,
good.
yes, you wanted to.
No, just saying I'm excited to be here.
Yes, me too. My first question for you is, how has long distance running shaped your approach to overcoming challenges in life?
Oh, it's done it in so many ways. For example, I think I've always kind of been a hard worker, and for the most part, was always pretty successful at what I was. But I didn't have, a lot of the soft skills, I guess you get, like discipline, like surrounding yourself with good people, just learning to accept, failure and learn from it and all of that, and welcome it. So it is a opportunity to learn and be more successful, right? Perseverance, just grinding through pain, understanding that there's lessons in all of that, right? So those are the kind of things that I think I learned through long distance running, that has made me more successful in other areas of life.
Ah, I understand. Yes, I understand how you took the lessons from long distance running to your business life.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's right.
Perfect. My next question is, what was the most pivotal moment in your journey that taught you the value of perseverance?
Of perseverance.
Mhm.
Um, I think I think it just I remember I'd set this, when I first got into running, I set this goal to qualify for Boston and the Boston Marathon. And at that time, I needed to run a marathon in under 3 hours and 10 minutes. But my first one was 4 hours and 52 minutes. So, but I would do these workouts with my group, and I was pretty fast. So I thought, okay, no big deal, I could do this. And so then I could, I I thought I would go to the next marathon. I would qualify because I trained more or something, and I ran it in like 4 hours and like 12 minutes, something like that. And so I was still very short on that. And I remember talking to my coach and asking him, "Hey, I do really good in the workouts. How come?" And there was that moment where he's like, Louis, this is you have some speed, but like to have that over 26.2 miles, it takes a lot more. Like you have to slow down, run more, be disciplined with it, do all of the little things, right? Like eat well and do other workouts to support yourself so you don't get injured. And it's not a short journey; it's a long term journey where you're working on all the other little things, you know, when outside of just those workouts. Does that make sense? And that to me was very eye opening. It was I don't know why, but that just hit me, and I've applied that to everything else. Like, you know, success is a journey; it's not a destination, and so you have to work on all those little things in every area, and you start to feel success. And it just comes to you rather than just going for it in one shot, right?
Wow, that makes sense. Thank you so much for explaining. And can you tell us how long it took that you know the training or the how long was it until you were able
Yeah,
to run?
yeah, that was 2014, and I didn't qualify till I qualified in 2018. I didn't run it till 2021 because of COVID.
Yeah.
It got delayed a year and all of that. So 7 years really till I got there, and it was 9 marathons that I ran before I finally had a qualifying time. And with each one of them, you learn, right? Like I had one where I qualified, but Boston has something called a cutoff,
Mm.
where the number of people who apply and beat the time that they require for qualifying, they take an average of those people and make it an even higher cutoff. So I qualified by like 4 minutes and change, and then it still was not fast enough. So I had to run another one even faster than that before I finally got in because of that cutoff. So you start to learn to just prepare for even more than what the minimum standard, right? Um, each one of them just teaches you a lesson that you have to get to, you know?
Yes, you gave me ideas now because I don't know nothing about marathon so far. I had an interview guest a couple of days ago, and he ran the New York Marathon, but
Yeah,
I did not ask the questions in details. I just so he told me it took half a year to train intensively, but it was 1 year and a half when the idea came into mind or the decision was made, so to say. And I love how you pointed out the 7 years period, because the only thing, and your word is perseverance, right, is to never give up once you set the goal, right?
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Each one of them, you just start ticking time off of the goal that you're trying to get to, and you learn a little bit more to keep ticking away, taking time off. Yeah. So it became a long-term goal. I actually made it a mantra for myself that I was going to qualify for Boston by 2020. So like I just started putting it up everywhere. Boston by 2020 became, my passwords, variation of it anyway. So people don't try to break into my stuff because that's not it. but anything, I put up signs everywhere and visions and all this stuff about, Boston by 2020. And in each marathon that I would train for, and yeah, they're usually about 6 month cycles, 4.5 month cycles. I would train on something different, like try to maybe um, incorporate a certain kind of workout that would make me a little bit faster for longer. Work on my nutrition, work on the other stuff. Just take one little thing that I was going to improve on a lot more during that cycle, and just give it my all for that. And sure enough, I'd keep knocking out 5, 10, 15 minutes off of my time until I finally got fast enough to qualify. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. So, what would you say if someone wants to start today setting a goal like that? And then, what would be your advice? How to start?
Well, the first would be to start. Get out there and go, whatever it is, just
Mhm,
start.
mhm.
I'm a big believer in setting really big goals, even if you don't know how to get there. So set the big goal, start going towards it, and the path will present itself, right? I didn't know how I would get there by 2020, but with each race, I knew the path became clearer and clearer. You know what I mean? Something would present itself. I'd get an injury in my hips, and then I know, like, okay, it isn't really my hips; it's my whole core I have to work on. So I'd have to start doing more core work regularly. You know what I mean? I would not feel good on my runs, and then I would start to realize, oh, it's because I'm not eating well. So I'd have to start eating better. You know what I mean? So the path presents itself as you go if you really stay dedicated. It's kind of like going on a big hike. You know the destination. You don't know how you're going to get there. If you're ever going to climb a mountain, you look at the top, you're like, oh my God, how am I going to get there? How do you start? You start. You put one foot in front of the other, you walk, and before you know it, you start to see the trail, how it opens up and how you get there. And you're at the top, right? So that would be the first thing I would do. Set the goal and start.
Thank you so much. It's so easy. Just start that, but it's the start that stops most people, right?
Absolutely.
Just start.
Absolutely. And it's not easy along the way. There's all kinds of things that happen, in running, it's injuries and, life, and you could have bad weather at a race and be all prepared and still, there's such as life, right? It's not fair. It's not, there's bumps and bruises along the way, but you learn from every part of it and you get better. And before you know it, you'll get there, right? So, um, so you just have to learn to accept them and be grateful for them because there's lessons in all of it, right?
Yes. Yes, of course. And may I ask why it was important to be the Boston Marathon? What is different from the others?
Well, Boston is a very iconic race, right? It's the
Mhm.
oldest marathon in the world. I actually went to college. Yeah, this upcoming year, 2025, will be the 129th Boston Marathon. I also went to college in Boston, and back then I was not a runner. I was very unhealthy. I would go. Boston Marathon Day was a very famous day for Boston area students because you could party outside, and because you didn't have any school that day, right? There were no classes. It's a holiday, and you can. It's the only day when you can like party outside and drink outside, and it was like kind of legal. So
Oh,
and I grew up in that area. I don't live there now, but I just thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun? And you hear people about it. There's something, you get a jacket when you go to Boston Marathon, and in the running world, that's a very prestigious jacket. It means something. You know what I mean? And so like, I don't know, it just seemed like a cool goal. You hear everybody talk about it, and it just seems like something I want to try that. I want to go there one day, and I want to qualify, right? And so it just became a goal for me, and just that kept growing. And yeah, and I'm happy I did, and it opened up my world, right? To a lot more. Like now, I've gone on to run all over the world. I just did the Tokyo Marathon this year. I've done all of the world's majors, which is 6 of them all over the world. It just really, the journey has been so much fun, and it's really expanded my horizon, um, and relationships and friendships all around the world. So, and it started with just that vision of getting to Boston, right?
I love that. Did you do the Berlin Marathon?
I have done the Berlin Marathon. Yeah, 2018 actually that was the first time I qualified. Oh no, it wasn't. I didn't. I ran at 3:17 then, so I didn't qualify. But
Hmm.
yeah, I did do the Berlin Marathon. Yeah, yeah, it
That's
was an
very
awesome experience. I loved it. I went with my wife, and that
Mhm.
year, um, Eliud Kipchoge, who's the best marathon runner of all time, in my opinion, he broke the world record that year at that same race that I was there. So I like to joke that he paced me for my marathon.
Yeah. Wow, of course. What a great story. Thank you so much. I think I was in Berlin that year,
Yeah.
but not especially. Yeah, maybe at that time. I have to look that up. Yes, because I'm in Germany, right? So
Okay.
my next question is, how do you translate the lessons from running into actionable advice for others seeking success?
Oh, again, I think there's a lot. First of all, it starts with, I think, setting goals, right? And being really intentional, and and having integrity about them. Like, you can't just set a goal that you're not really going to pursue. You're not really, some of it, hey, we want to be a trillionaire. Well, okay, what are you doing about it, right? Are you starting businesses? Are you, really doing what it takes, doing the work? So same thing goes with running, right? I wanted to go to Boston. Well, it meant I had to run, right? That meant so, and then seek coaching, start reading the books, start figuring it all out, and start making plans towards it. So I said, big goal, then short-term goals in between them to kind of get closer and closer, and then you monitor your progress, and you make adjustments, course correct along the way because of them. So those are all things you need to be successful, right? Figure out what does success mean to you. That's your big goal, and then and then start working it backwards. And what are the small steps you can do right now, or work towards for 3 months from now, and then reevaluate them at that 3 month mark, and course correct, right? And if you did it, then make a bigger goal to get closer to to the big goal, right? That you define success by. So those kind of things, and then don't let things get you down when there's problems along the way, you just sit and you analyze them and think about what lesson is there in there so that it doesn't happen again and you get better, right? And then finally, I would say, um, surround yourself with the people who are already ahead of you there, right? Like get so the people who are already doing it, or at least on the path towards it with you. So you want to have people who are already doing it a little bit, one step ahead, so you can kind of keep up with them, and then you learn from them, um, and and you keep doing that over and over. As you get to that next level, then you find the next person who's ahead of you. And so you're always surrounding yourself with those people who are where you want to be. So you should be, in my case, like in running, you want to be the slowest one, so that way you're getting a little bit faster. And when you get to their level, then you find the next, you know what I mean, and you keep going. And those that want to keep going to the next level, they'll stay on the journey with you, and the ones who don't, well, you stay friends, and it's all good. But you're probably not going to be running with them so much anymore, right? And that goes with, same thing goes for life that way with success, right?
I love that analogy. The ones who are not running with you. It's so so easy to say, and it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded people, with runners, with when we say surround yourself with four marathon runners, you become the fifth, right?
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. Yeah, in my running group now, it's funny. So I started a running group. We run at 5 in the morning every day, and or 3 days a week, I should say. And I started by just putting out ads and all that. And before you know it, we have a little group together, anywhere from 5 to 12 people. We all go together, and some of us who are coming out, they had never, run marathons or weren't running like we were. And there's this one lady, her name's Julie. She started about a year with us, and she thought we were crazy. She's like, oh, all the running we do and all the stuff, and she's like, was intimidated, but she kept coming back for some reason. And she's incredible. uh I mean, she is unbelievably inspiring, and next week she's going to run her first marathon, and she is in such great shape. She's going to run way faster than like any of us ever did on our first one. And she's like, Louis, I remember coming out and one of you guys talked about you went on like just a regular run, and it was like 11 miles, and she had never run that much in her life. And and she's like, now that's like my shortest run. you know? So isn't that incredible? By her just hanging around with us, she's actually running more than we are right now. So, which is funny.
Yes, it's inspiring. Thank you for sharing. And
Yeah.
also, I think it was the little bit maybe self-confidence that she had to grow
Yeah.
by the time. Hmm.
She didn't have it. She was scared. She was like, she thought we were crazy, but she kept coming around, and we all enjoyed running with her. You know what I mean? And we weren't leaving her behind or anything. We were just so happy that she was showing up. And then
Yes.
before you know it, she's like, I think I want to run. She ran her first half, and she's like, oh, I think I want to sign up for a full marathon. We were like, yeah, go for it. And now next week she's going to do it, which is just incredible. So yeah, you just surround yourself with the people who are doing it, and then before you know it, you're doing it. You know.
So true. Thank you so much. So, when people reach out to you after listening to this episode, where can we find you? And do you have special offers or services?
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I have anything really special. I have a podcast myself. It's called The Wayfinder Show. We help people get in alignment with where they want to be in their life and level up in their life. We often say, come, join us to find your way to your dream life. And it's on every Tuesday and Friday. It comes out, and we just interview inspiring people and learn from them, and yeah, so it's called the Wayfinder Show, and you can find it wherever you listen to podcasts, or go to wayfindershow.com. I'm also a real estate professional out in Denver, Colorado. If anybody ever wants to talk about real estate, I have you can schedule a free call with me through my website called Pioneer Group Realty. And you can go right on there, and you'll get right on my calendar for a free call to talk about real estate, whatever you want to do, whether it be buy your first home or an investment property or what have you. right?
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. There will be many people reaching out now and listening to your podcast as well. Thank you, Louis Hernandez, for our interview. Now is time for your last thoughts or first thoughts to the audience, please.
Yeah, well, thanks again for having me, Caroline. I don't know if I have any last thoughts. I love the theme of your podcast. Inspired. That's what I hope to do as well with people I come across, is to inspire them. So I hope people get from this some inspiration, and no matter where you are, you can get to another level, and go for it.
Absolutely. Go for it. Thank you so much. I'm happy. I'm blessed.
Yes, you are.
And see you in the next episode.